It's never going to get printed out if there's a script. They're not going to print it. Like, it's not like they give it out to everyone to read.
There was
like,
an office memo.
Just
go do it, goddammit!
Just making up accents at this point.
Do it!
You heard him. Please.
You know what's better than, you know what's honestly the best thing? Pissing drunk outside.
Nothing better. Just staring up into the stars. You're like, like I'm having a great night. Like, this is fun time.
Sometimes I prefer to pee outside than I do a bathroom.
Oh.
You think aliens are real? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pro Am Podcast. Just a couple amateur athletes talking pro sports. I'm Sam Cohen.
Marjorie Tamillo.
And we got an exciting one for you today, folks.
Yes, we do.
I'm excited about this episode. I think it's going to be a fun one. But we must begin with the MVP conversation because that has been done in the NBA.
Definitely.
Jokic wins it for the third time?
Third time
MVP.
Which I feel like I didn't expect to happen, to be honest. I feel like there is some voter fatigue that goes into the MVP voting year to year.
Is it done the right way?
I don't think so. I think that's what we need
give
to
it to
break
those
down
50
today.
writers or whatever it is?
Yeah, so I was thinking that. I was just looking. Up until 1980, it was all voted on by the players.
That's what it should be. Players or fans?
They're the players. Like the players also watch to see what everyone else is doing, and they play against them physically. Like they're actually on the court, and there's something that can't be measured, I feel like, from the eye of a sports writer that can be measured by a guy who's actually playing against him.
I mean...
So, but at the same time, I do like that, that the sports writers and the people that are involved in the media do have a bit of a say, but I don't think they should have the whole say.
The whole kit caboodle.
I think it should be like 60 NBA players and 40 writers. And be a little more swayed towards the players are voting, so like maybe their votes hold a little more weight or something like along those lines.
I don't disagree because truthfully, I think Shai got robbed.
I agree with you 100%. I'm all in on SGA winning the award this year.
I mean,
it's not that Joker didn't have an MVP season because obviously he puts up MVP numbers year to year now, and he's just going to continue to do that. But like, you're going to give it to him every year? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't.
It's tough when you got. For me, it's tough for me when I see a guy whose team is in the same division and just doing like he's doing better.
Right. And
to me, like the MVP is like the best player on the best team.
Right.
I feel like I say it every single time. But
I agree.
That's what I think it is. I think it's the best player on the best team.
Right.
Because that would be the most valuable player.
Yeah. And when you're 24 years old or whatever, and he's leading a team the way he is, like that should hold a little more weight than a guy who's just been doing it all the time. And he, like, not that to take anything away from Joker, but like, you know what you're gonna get from him. You didn't know that SGA was just gonna like continue to score even more than his points per game rises every year.
No, I totally agree.
And now he's on the best team in the West.
And they're probably going to be the best team in the West for years to come, to be honest with you.
Yeah, which we'll get into more later, but I agree. I think it should be SGA.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the writers are so stuck in, like, the same kind of analytics, per se, or just, like, the same players that they're, like, they don't even want to try and entertain the thought of somebody.
They already have their perception of who the most valuable player in the league is, and it's just been Jokic, and it's just... in their brains is going to stay Jokic until he
they're
doesn't
the most
do what he does.
egotistical fucking opinion. Their opinion is better than everyone's.
Apparently, that's what.
That's what they all think.
Yeah.
Whether they like to say it or not.
Yeah.
They think their opinion's better than everyone else's, even their peers.
Right. Which is why I do think that it would make sense to weigh votes differently, where players are voting, they're voting, but the players' votes have some more weight, just because they're actually playing against them.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think it needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
A little bit. Because I feel like this was a big enough year to be like, all right, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of options. Like, you can make a case for 6 guys this year. Like, Tatum had a case. Doncic had a case. Fucking...
If Embiid didn't get hurt, he always has a case.
Yeah, and this is the first year where the amount of games you play actually matters.
Usually has a case.
Yeah.
Even LeBron might have a case at some point.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, most valuable player, take LeBron off the Lakers, they're fucking terrible. It would have been horrible without LeBron.
Yeah, they wouldn't be good.
And he did everything, and he's 40.
And he still does everything.
Yeah, like, that's got to hold some weight, too. But, yeah, I think that voter fatigue is definitely a big part of a lot of the recent votes. Because, like Embiid got it, I feel like, not that I didn't think he deserved it, but I think he deserved it the year before more than he deserved it last year almost.
Yeah.
And I feel like people didn't want to give it to Joker for a third time in a row.
So they were like...
they gave it, all right, this one's Embiid's, and then now they're back to Joker.
It's crazy.
Like, it's just like, you shouldn't be thinking about past MVPs or future MVPs while you're talking about this one, but you almost can't help but think about it.
It's a double-edged sword for that. I mean, I'm sure it's tough as hell to even try and like
even make a vote.
I would pick Tatum every time just because he's my favorite player.
Right.
I would just pick my favorite player.
And that's the thing. Like these guys have fandom too. Like they're fans of people. You don't know what their fandom is. Like
That's true. They could be big Jokic fans.
Might be voting for him because they're Nuggets fans. Like you never know.
You never know.
And that bias will always be there.
Yep. Speaking of the Denver Nuggets, though, let's get into a little conference semifinals talk.
Yeah.
Let's start with that series.
Because it was 2-0 Minnesota. Everybody's like, oh, they're going to the fucking finals.
Goddamn media. I'm going to say this once. Stop fucking watching all that shit. Because every one of those guys tries to have the hottest take of the day. That way they can get their show the most clicks and views.
That's facts.
That's why they say all this like insane bullshit of like, oh, Anthony Edwards, is he Michael Jordan's son? Ever? Is he Michael Jordan? And then boom, he loses 2 games. He's still Michael Jordan, everyone?
Right. Exactly. Like sometimes you just gotta watch and let it happen first before you start speculating.
Did everyone forget that the team they're playing won the NBA championship with nothing but ease last year?
Yeah.
Rolled through every single team.
You think that just because the defending champions go down 2-0 that they're just done? Like they can't win 2 straight?
That's another thing.
They did it very easily. Right.
People think one team wins one game, and not only are they going to win the series, they're going to win the NBA championship as if they don't have to beat the team 3 more times.
Yeah, like obviously momentum's a thing, but like it can swing right back the other direction
easily,
like a blink of an eye. Like as
we
you
just
can tell,
witnessed
just saw it. Yeah.
And tonight it's going to be an insane game.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch tonight's game. I personally think the Nuggets take a 3rd game in a row here. So? But I also think that Minnesota goes back home and wins one, and I think this is a 7-game series, personally.
I think either way, I kind of agree with that. I think it can go 7. But I think either way, this is like a super important series for Minnesota, win or lose, just for their development. Like, if they can take the Nuggets to 7 and still lose, like that's huge for them going into next year.
First time ever in this round.
Exactly.
With this team.
We'll talk more later about like the Thunder and the T-Wolves, but like both of those 2 teams are like poised for just to be, one of the top teams in the West for a long time. So any experience you can get playing an NBA champion, win or lose, it's going to be good for you.
Yeah. So that's that series is going to be fun wrapping up. That's going to be.
Speaking of that, quick moment from that last game that I want to bring up. I was watching it was the end of the first half. It's like a 5-point Nuggets swing in like I think it was 4.2 seconds or some shit. And Anthony Edwards lost the ball around the foul line. Joker picked it up, yucked it down the court to Michael Porter Jr., dunks it, and then they try to swing it back the other way with a couple seconds left. I think there was like 1 second left on the clock. Jamal Murray picks it off and then just shoots it from like a little past half court, drains it. So 5 points in 4 seconds.
That's wild.
Crazy swing.
That'll happen to you.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Basketball's a game of runs.
Anthony Edwards also had 40 in that game.
Yeah.
He was doing everything he could.
They need somebody else to step up when he does that. But 100%. Next series we got, last night's game was awesome.
Yep.
SGA with an insane comeback. I doubted him. I was sitting there saying they were going to lose. So hats off to you, SGA.
He did some MVP shit.
He did. Sure. He did, which...
That's what MVPs do.
Literally. Put the team on his back. What do you have, 36? Playoff career high?
Yeah, 30-something. You went fucking
came
crazy.
Came back on the Mavs, beat them. It's a 3-1 series.
Yep. Also, since we started talking about this series, I was gassing up Kyrie really heavily, and he's been pretty quiet since.
Well, the one win they had, he was phenomenal.
Oh yeah. But I think since that moment, I'm pretty sure when we talked about him, he's been definitely not putting up the numbers he was.
Yeah, he disappeared in a little of a sense.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I need to see a little more from Luka as well.
Yeah, I was going to say it was like 6 for 20 or something.
I don't think we should be sitting here even mentioning Kyrie without mentioning Luka.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, everyone knows that he's the guy. Like, he's the number one option regardless of how well Kyrie's playing. So they need him to do what he does to be effective.
Yeah, and as far as it goes for the Thunder, keep playing your game. I think Dort's getting in Doncic's head every night.
Yep,
he's a hell of a defender.
They're just young and fast and in shape, and they can stay with you all game long.
But I can see that sometimes their non-experience, I should say, shows.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's a good reason enough to say this is going to be a 6-game series at least.
I hear that
because I don't see Kyrie and Luka laying down.
Yeah. So wait, what is it right now? It's 2-2.
It's 3-1.
3-1. Thunder.
The Mavs won an away game. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, so I think it's 2-2.
No, it'd be 2-1. They've only played 3 games.
Am I saying?
Oh no, you're right. It is 2-2.
Yeah, because last
Mavs
night
are up 2-1.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right. They tied it.
Word, yeah,
That's my fault. I got it all jumbled up.
No, I feel you. There's a lot going on. But yeah, that game was great.
So tied series, game 5 tomorrow night.
That one makes me think it's going 7, just because it's going back and forth.
They're not going to lay down.
They're winning games on each other's home court.
And the only thing that I think could deter the Thunder would just be their lack of experience.
Yeah,
I think that's the only thing they're lacking.
Pretty much, yeah. They pretty much got everything going for them right now.
They could also not even have experience. They could just do it, but we'll see. It's hard for me to not have experience in the mix because as a Celtics fan, we've been in the same spot every fucking year,
right?
And like when a team just comes in there and just wins, I'm like, you don't have what it fucking takes unless they prove me wrong. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But moving on over to the East, might as well talk about the Celtics.
Yeah.
Great win last night without D. Mitch.
Good game. That was a nice little viewing experience we had over at the Machado household.
It was, shout out
to
Aids.
For the hospitality.
Game was a little too close for my liking.
Yeah.
The entire time.
It was definitely close.
A lot of turnovers that need to be fixing, but most important thing is got the dub, moved over to 3-1, heading back to Beantown.
Yeah, it's pretty much
I think we can wrap this one up, put a bow on it, send it off.
They definitely had to win that last game.
I think this will be
make this a series.
I think this will be 8 conference finals appearances in the last 9 to 10 years for us.
Yeah. A whole lot.
Maybe 8?
A whole lot.
Maybe 7, no, because Tatum hasn't even been in the league that long. So I guess 7? Mm-hmm. 7 of the last 9, I'd say.
It's pretty crazy, honestly, for him and Jaylen Brown that they've been there that many times already.
It's like they go there every year.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
It's like second nature at this point.
They just need to get over that hump. But yeah, I don't see the Cavs doing anything.
I don't either. I mean, I couldn't believe they even kept it close without Mitchell last night.
You're telling me,
yeah.
dude. The turnovers.
It was all sloppy basketball. It's the only reason why they were in the game.
They were getting transition threes from Strus at the wazoo.
Yeah, facts.
It's goddamn annoying.
Big facts.
But I think they're done. Personally, think JB Bickerstaff gets fired.
Yeah, he's gonna bicker with his staff a little bit.
He's gonna bicker with his staff for a little bit, and get fired probably.
Yeah.
Because with the team he's got, he's a little riddled with injuries, but I think they've been a little underwhelming since they've gotten D. Mitch.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be on his way out. And then probably I guess maybe the second most exciting. I don't even know. I'd probably call it the most exciting series in the playoffs right now.
Pacers?
We talked about it.
Yeah. It's going into it, we knew that these two teams are probably the most evenly matched squads, I'd say.
Yeah, no, 100% evenly
health
matched.
At least, but
without a doubt.
Yeah, the Knicks are definitely really banged up though, so it's not looking great for them. But I don't know. It's still 2-2. I just don't see them.
That OG, they just look like a different team.
That's what I mean.
They don't have as much of a defensive presence.
It's very important to them. You can tell, since they traded for him, they became a completely different team. Their defensive efficiency was
up a lot less points. A lot less points.
Yeah.
And then the Pacers, on the other hand, they're playing electric.
Yeah, they've been a good team all year. We saw them beat the Bucks a bunch of times, and they play their own brand of basketball. They're very fast. They run in transition. They're young. Halliburton's a stud. Miles Turner, I feel like, is finally
coming into his own.
Yeah, he used to. There was always rumors of they're gonna trade him. Is he the guy here? But he got his money and then he settled in.
Obi Toppin, big series for him. I feel like every time he steps on that court, he has so much to prove.
I think that he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Definitely
100%. And then somehow, some way, T.J. McConnell just keeps doing.
I love T.J. McConnell. I love him. I think he's just a fucking.
I didn't like him on the Sixers because he was a Sixer, but I don't mind him now.
Yeah, I always just root for the short guy. I'm I was like that. You always just root for him.
That's why I loved IT, dude.
Yeah, he hustles. He's diving all over the place. Yeah,
he's the shortest.
And he's shorter than me.
Yeah, shorter. Yeah.
It's always crazy when you see a player that you're oh, I'm literally that height. That's what I would look like if I was standing next to Shaq.
It's scary.
It's pretty crazy.
It's nuts.
So I was thinking when I was at the O's game and Corbin Carroll was in the box. He's 5'7" or something. I was that's how I would look if I was standing there. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So I also think that series is going to go to 7. I do think the Knicks somehow get a dub tonight.
I kind of do too. I'm
back in the Garden.
I'm going to say Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6?
I think they're just going to defy the odds and win this series somehow. Just get it done.
I could see it. OG
going to come back maybe, and we'll see.
No way. If he's good, you got to play him next game.
Have to. They're not at a spot where they can afford to just drop a game because you You face elimination, then it's everything.
Once you get 2 losses,
yeah.
Once you get that third, you're getting nightmares.
Once you look elimination in the eye, and you're like,
right in the fucking eyeball.
Shit's getting a little iffy here.
All right, let's transition into a little new segment we thought of.
Yeah, we got a couple new ones here. We're gonna try to run with these next couple, for all the episodes going forward, but something to keep it fresh.
First one that we got though, it's called Remember When. Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna. Today's May 14th. We looked up some stats, some stuff on Remember When.
Things that happened on this date in history in sports.
Do you remember when Jason Tatum scored 51 on the Philadelphia 76ers on Mother's Day in the playoffs last year?
I do. It's a very convenient start to the segment. Because
that did happen on May 14th. Yes. This day, 51? Sixers fans, 51, might I add. 51, 5-1. Sixers fans, if you can count that up, so that's 10 5 times, and then one more. That's how many times he scored on you guys.
That'd be a 50 burger.
On Mother's Day, man, was I fucking jumping for joy on that day.
For the mothers.
For the mothers.
Jason Tatum loves the mothers.
For Mama Deuce, Mama Tatum.
Yep.
Got it done. What a time. That game was awesome.
Yeah.
He went nuts. I've never seen anything.
Anytime you get to watch your favorite player drop a 50 bomb in the playoffs.
Against a team you really hate.
Fucking electric. It's electric.
On your home floor.
God, I miss Kobe.
I can't even blame you.
It was a dream fucking watching that guy play basketball.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a similar type of feel watching Tatum play.
I could watch Tatum play all day.
Yep.
Unless he plays bad, but even when he plays bad, I want him to play better, so I cheer for him even more.
Exactly. Got to support your boys through thick and thin.
But yeah, that happened on this day. I remembered it. He remembers it.
I do remember.
Do you guys remember it? Because I do. And it was a hell of a time.
I love it. It's a good first segment of the Remember When segment from the Pro-Am podcast.
Yes, it is. What do you remember from this day?
Well, I don't remember it specifically.
This is for the older crowd.
If we got any old folks watching here, the old heads, this is for you. But on this day, the old Mickey Mantle, the
Mickey,
Mick, put his 500th.
Right on your mantle.
500th career homer for the Mick. And then, on this exact day, 19 years later, Reggie Jackson passed Mickey Mantle for 6th all-time.
Gotta love it.
Pretty cool. That's just sports for you.
That is just
I feel like
sports
baseball specifically, like, history repeats itself. And,
yeah.
And things, weird little anomalies like that happen. So.
I think it's because of the amount of games played. It's like there's so much that could happen with
play 162 games a year. There's 30-something teams. Like, you know how many baseball games that is? That's thousands of baseball games a year. Eventually,
thousands of hitters, thousands of pitches thrown.
Eventually,
hundreds of millions of pitches thrown. Actually,
yeah, literally, like hundreds of pitches per game.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Baseball history is fun.
It is. I agree. It definitely has the most. What's the word I'm looking for? Got the richest
nostalgia?
History. Yeah, there's so much history in it that you can just dive in and find something new that you never heard of.
Yeah, personally, I think out of all like the sport Hall of Fames, probably like the Cathedral is probably the Baseball Hall of Fame.
1,000%. It definitely is like the Hall of Fame that you think of. You think of Cooperstown. I need to go through and walk through that. I've never been there.
Oh,
need to.
Great time.
It's on the bucket list.
Great time.
Can't wait to do that.
That place with the busts, it's real.
Yeah.
It's actually real. It's fucking sick to walk through.
It is pretty cool.
I was just lost. I didn't even know where to look, dude. I was seeing random names I knew, guys I hated, guys I loved.
Yep.
It was sick. Great experience over there at Cooperstown.
I love that segment. It's a good one. Remember when?
Yeah. But now we got to get to roasting, so.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on to our next segment. We got the weekly roast coming up. Here we go. Thanks for all the applause, folks. Thank you. Thank you very much. So this is our new segment, Weekly Roast. Me and RJ are going to pick an athlete, a team, whatever it may be. We're going to roast them. So my roast this week is for Kendrick Perkins, so thank you. Kendrick Perkins said he is sick and tired of Jason Tatum underperforming. Since that comment, Tatum has averaged 33 points. Seems like those words went faster back into Kendrick's mouth than the dinner he had last night. Kendrick Perkins, you are as dumb as a bag of rocks. You average 5 points and 5 rebounds as an NBA starting center. In simple terms, Kendrick's basketball ability is just as good as Hezbollah's height. Your takes are hotter than Kylie Jenner on a fine Sunday evening in Miami. Stick to sticky buns and milkshakes and let the real basketball players play and talk about basketball. Thank you.
Sam said, weekly roast. Here it comes. Anybody ever have a ham? A roasted ham? Let's have a little Darvin ham roast. That's what we're getting into today. Former head coach of the Lakers. I've been calling for this guy's job since God knows when, but he was never the option. He was never it. This guy averaged 2.7 points a game in his playing career and got blessed with coaching the NBA's all-time leading scorer. It's a big opportunity. Absolutely fumbled it. He's gone. I'm happy about it. Let me just get into one more thing here. I said so much about his rotations all year long. The guy couldn't even fucking figure out the rotation in a blunt rotation. So, Darvin Ham, pass the blunt to J.J. Redick. It's over. You're gone. J.J. Redick, new coach of the Lakers. You heard it here first. Let's go. This is the Pro Am Pod. I'm RJ Tamillo. This is your weekly roast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the weekly roast. We'll be coming out with that every week, every episode. Just a little tidbit. Just, blow some steam off, make fun of somebody if you want, do what we can.
Love it. Yeah, but we got one more little new segment for everybody.
Uno.
We're going to go with a little Pick Your Poison.
Pick your poison. Explain it to him, RJ.
How that's going to work, it'll be different every week. It could be a player, it could be a team, it could be whatever, but we're going to pick between two things. This week specifically, the question at hand, the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Minnesota Timberwolves, which team is poised for a bigger future and which team is poised to win now in this year's NBA playoffs? So you can go either way with that first.
So out of those two, I think the Thunder have a better shot at a better future currently.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just in terms of age, they have an average team age of 23.
Plus all the assets they have.
A ton of picks. I can't even tell you the amount of
more assets than I think any team I could ever imagine.
They have more assets than they know what to do with, literally.
Right. And then with the same type of conversation there, like the Timberwolves have a little less flexibility in terms of what they can do in the future. They got Rudy's contract is pretty big, and they definitely don't have as many picks as the Thunder do. So I'd say that the Thunder, I'd agree that they have a better future ahead of them. They're poised to fix whatever issues they do have with their current roster, and they can really do whatever they want next year in terms of building a team. But I would say that the Timberwolves have a better shot to win right now.
I agree with that, but to play devil's advocate, though, thinking ahead for the Timberwolves, I could so see them getting rid of Gobert. Only older player they probably extend is Conley. Right. At that point,
cheap.
You have a sixth man in the year, Naz Reid, just sitting on the bench.
Right.
He can easily come in and start for that team.
That's very true.
If you don't want to pay Gobert, who is still probably the best defender in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Yeah,
so going to.
It's like if Gobert's their oldest player, they're kind of set for the future too.
Yeah. They both are. That's why it's such a tough pick your poison question here, because both teams have a great future ahead of them. So
I do agree that the Timberwolves have a little better of not even experience. It's more
they're in a better position at this current moment.
Yeah.
And it almost is a little bit about experience because they have been in the playoffs before. They just recently already broke that barrier of being in the playoffs and playing a series. So I think the Timberwolves definitely have a better shot to win this season. But going into next year, I think the Thunder could be the consensus best team in the NBA if they do their offseason right.
And to be honest, if the Thunder and the Timberwolves both get out of these series, I could see the Thunder winning that series.
Yeah, no, I definitely could too, 100%. That would be the best possible scenarios if both of those teams win and we get to see the two young teams duke it out. We see who's more ready, and they can just answer the question for us.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, I feel I don't know. Actually, I don't even know.
It's tough. SGA and Ant, those are two, arguably two of the top 5 players in the league now.
Should have been the MVP. Ant, definitely the MVP of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Both stepping up huge for their teams when they need it.
Yeah.
Both coming back into series.
Two very similar rosters, honestly. Very young.
It's tough. But yeah, I'd probably have to say Thunder are a little more set up for the future. And I would definitely say that the T-Wolves are more ready to win now.
I think we agree.
The scary thing about the Thunder, though, is their future could be 2 years from now.
True.
Because they did just win the West.
Right. The Thunder give me a fucking Orioles vibe. Last year's Orioles vibe. like good team, but like
just
young, yeah, like so young that like any kind of experience is going to be positive. So
same with the coach too. I mean, Hyde did he have any playoff experience?
None. He was just I think he was with the Cubs when they won the World Series, but he wasn't a head coach or anything.
Yeah, he was just on the staff.
Yeah.
And then I can't even say that coach's last name, Mark Dagnall or something like that.
Yeah, I can't say
his last name. It's hard. I've never even heard of the guy until this year.
Right.
So that takes a factor in it too. But yeah, I think the T-Wolves are just a little more ready to win now.
I agree with you.
That'd be the poison I'm picking.
I think I'm also going to pick that poison, and I think the T-Wolves are poised to win now. I think the Thunder are going to be even more poised to win next year, but I think they can definitely win now too. They're two great teams, but Thunder is a team that I'll be looking more into next year as opposed to the T-Wolves.
I like it.
Good segment.
And with that being said, I think we're ready to just about get out of here. So take us on home.
Works for me. Thanks for listening to the Pro Am Podcast. Appreciate you tuning in. We got some new segments for you. They'll be coming every week. We'll be brainstorming some more stuff. More clips will be coming out. All that good stuff. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Obviously, a subscription on YouTube means the most to us. So please subscribe. Please like this video. Send it to a friend. All that stuff. I'm RJ Tamillo.
Sam Cohen.
You're watching the NBA playoffs with the Pro Am Pod, baby. Let's go.
Seize up, baby. Peace out.